In the first question, it says, in 2019, Nicole's annual income was $22,000. She spent $7,200 on accommodation in 2019. Calculate the percentage of her income she spent on accommodation. So that's going to be 7,200 divided by 22,000 times 100. Our zeros get cancelled out. So we are left with 7,200 over 220. This also gets cancelled out. So if we do 720 divided by 22, that's 32.7%. Her annual income of $22,000 is increased by 4% in 2020. Calculate her annual income in 2020. So that's going to be 22,000 plus 22,000 times 4 over 100. We're going to add 4% of 22,000 to the original amount, which is 22,000. So that's going to be 22,000 times 4 divided by 100 is 880. So we add 880 to 22,000, which is going to be 22,880 dollars. Then it says Nicole invests 20,000 in an account. The account pays compound interest at a rate of K% per year. At the end of the first year, the money in the account is $2,036. Show that K equals to 1.8. So she invested $2,000 and what she's getting in return is 2,036. So what we will do is 2,036, which is the amount after she's gotten the interest, minus the original amount, which is 2,000, equals to 2,000 times K over 100 times 1, because it's just 1 year. So 2,036 minus 2,000 is 36. 2,000 times K over 100 is 20K. So 36 divided by 20, which is going to equal to 1.8%. That is the rate of interest. Then it says find the number of complete years before Nicole has at least 2,150 in the account. Show your working. We're going to do 2,000 times 1 plus 1.8 over 100 to the power of n greater than equal to 2,150 because it says at least. So now we do 1 plus 1.8 over 100 to the power of n with an equal to 2,150 divided by 2,000. If you solve the bracket, so 1.8 divided by 100 is 0.018. So we do 1 plus 0.018 to the power of n greater than equal to 2,150 divided by 2,000. That's 1.075. So this is 1.018 to the power of n and 1.075 over here. So 1.018 to the power of 3 is 1.05. So that's not the value of n. To the power of 4 is 1.0739, which is not the same. But 1.018 to the power of 5 is 1.09. So at n equals to 4, 1.018 is basically equal to 1.0739, which is approximately 1.074. So that means your value of n has to be greater than 4. It can't be 4. So n is 5. A survey recorded the number of people living in each of 50 houses. The bar chart shows the results. First, it asks us to find the mode. So mode is the highest frequency. And as you can see, the bar for 4 people has the highest frequency, which is 12. So mode is going to be 12. Then it says find the median. So median is basically your middle value. So if we start writing the frequency first, for the number of people of 1, the frequency is 7. For 2 people, the frequency is 11. For 3, it's 10. 4, it's 12. For 5 people, 6. And for 6 people, it's 4. So in total, we have 50 houses. So we know 50 divided by 2 is 25. So now if we start counting the frequency from the first number of people, 7 plus 11 is 18. 18 plus 10 is 28. So which means 25 lies in this bracket, the number of people for 3. So that means our median is going to be 3. This is your median. Then it says calculate the mean value. So for the mean value, let's go back to the frequencies. We had 7, 11, 10, 12, 6, and 4. Mean is your sigma fx divided by sigma f. So we're going to multiply 7 with 1 plus 11 with 2 plus 10 times 3 plus 12 times 4 plus 6 times 5 and plus 4 times 6. This is your sigma fx. So now if we solve this, we're going to have 7 plus 22 plus 30 plus 48 plus 30 again and plus 24. That's 161. 161 is your sigma fx. Sigma f is already given as 50. So now mean is going to be 161 divided by 50, which is going to equal to 3.22. That is your mean value. Then it says one of the houses is chosen at random. Find the probability that exactly 3 people live there. So for 3 people, the frequency is 10. So what we will do is we will divide the frequency of 3 people, which is 10, by the total number of houses, 50. So that is 1 over 5. That is the probability. Then it says 2 houses are chosen at random from these 50 houses. Find the probability that only one of the 2 houses has exactly 5 people living there. So since only one of the 2 houses is going to have exactly 5 people living there, for 5 people, our frequency is 6. And the total frequency is given as 50. So our probability is going to be 6 over 50. Now this is for exactly 5 people living in a house. Since only one house is going to have 5 people, that means the other house would be 50 minus 6 over 49, Why 50 minus 6? Because 6 houses are already gone because that's where 5 people live. So the other house is not going to have those 5 people. So 50 minus 6. So that leaves us with 44 houses. And the denominator is going to be 49 because we have removed one house from there. So total has also changed because the first probability talks about 5 people living in a house. So if we have moved that one house, we're left with one less house. And this entire thing is going to be multiplied by 2 because 2 houses are chosen at random. So that's going to be 6 over 50 times 44 over 49 times 2. So that's going to give us 6 times 44 times 2, which is 528. And 50 times 49 is 2450. So if we simplify this, 264 over 1250. Then question 3 says P equals to 3Q plus 5 over R square. Calculate P when Q equals to 15 and R equals to -4. So we're going to do P equals to 3 times 15 plus 5 over -4 whole square. That's going to be 45 plus 5 over 16. That's 50 over 16. And if we divide 50 by 16, that's 3.125. Part B says expand and simplify. So we're going to start with expanding the brackets. 3 gets multiplied with 2x and 1. 4 gets multiplied by x and -5. So 3 times 2x plus 3 times 1 plus 4 times x plus 4 times -5. So that's 6x plus 3 plus 4x minus 20, which equals to 10x minus 17. Just combine the like terms. 6x and 4x are like terms, and 3 and -20 are like terms. Part C says solve 3 minus k over 4 equals to 1. So we're going to start with cross multiplying 4 with 1. So that's 4. Swap k with 4. So 3 minus 4 equals to k. And -4 is k. Part D says x to the power of 6 divided by x to the power of m equals to x to the power of -3. Find m. So whenever we have similar bases being divided, what we do is we subtract the powers. So it's going to be x to the power of 6 minus m equals to x to the power of -3. Now that we have two same bases on each side of the equal to sign, what we can do is we can put the powers equal to each other, which means 6 minus m equals to -3. So swap m and -3. So that's going to be 6 plus 3 equals to m now. So 9 is the value of m. Part E shows us this diagram, which is of a rectangular piece of card that measures 30 by 24 centimeters. The net of an open box is made by removing a square from each corner of this piece of card. Each square that is removed has side x centimeters. The area of the net is 576 centimeters square. Form an equation in x and solve it to find the value of x. So if this is x, that means this is x, 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 and x, because these are squares. So 576 is the area of the net that is given. So that's going to be equal to 30 times 24 minus 4 times x times x. Because there are 4 squares, that's why we're multiplying x times x by 4. And 30 times 24 is the area of this entire opened, rectangle with the x squares included. So 576 equals to 30 times 24, which is 720 minus 4x squared. This is our equation. And then they're asking us to solve it to find the value of x. To solve it to find the value of x, what we'll do is we'll make x squared the subject first. So 576 minus 720 equals to negative 4x. So that's going to equal negative 144. So now we can cancel out the minus signs and divide 144 by 4, which is going to equal to 36. So now to find the value of x, I'm going to square root 36, and that gives us x. And that gives us 6 centimeters. So that is your length of the square. So since this is a rectangular box, so volume of a cuboid is length times width times height. Height over here is going to be 6, which was the value of x. For the width and height, we know that the width would be 24 minus 6 times 2, which is going to be 12. And for the length, that's going to be 30 minus 6 times 2, which is going to be 30 minus 12, which is 18. So volume would be, in this case now, 12 times 18 times 6, which is equal to 1296 centimeter cube. So for the fraction, we're going to do 1000, which is the volume of the sand, divided by the volume of the entire box. So if we simplify this, 1000 divided by 2, which is 500, and 1296 divided by 2, 648, which can be further simplified to 250 and 354, 324, sorry. And which is 125 over 162.